I'm live. Hi. We are
Hi,
live
everybody.
on mYak Tibetan Fibers channel. Hi, Andrea. Ciao, Andrea.
Ciao, Paola. Hi, Paola. Hi, everybody.
So while you tune in, guys, we are going to chit-chat a little bit to give you time to tune in. We hope that you will join us live, but we know that a lot of people want to watch our episodes later on. So if you're watching this episode, tomorrow, next week, or next month even, welcome to our little channel. We have started this channel not too long ago, and we are very excited to be able to share a lot of our information in this way. So, Andrea, I just realized that we have not been on the same chat on YouTube for over a year now.
Yeah, I think it's really a year. It was March, the first 2 weeks of the pandemics. We was desperate. Yeah, now a lot of things happen and we are here again.
Yes. So it was exactly a year ago when the pandemic started that Andrea and I saw, of course, we were all in lockdown, and we thought, how could we reach out to people? One of the things that we immediately missed the most was to be able to attend all of the events that were canceled. And we saw a way to try to go live, and we started with a few live on on Instagram on the mYak _us or US feed. And slowly we made more chats, and we had live, and we just throw ourselves out there. We saw that a lot of people were interested in listening to our blabbing away. And they asked us to also move on YouTube because, many of you are not on Instagram. So that's what we did. And we are very happy to have reached already 2,000 followers. I know it's small compared to the big YouTuber, but we are very proud of our little steps. And so today, what we wanted to do, and this chat is going to be in English. We have done one in Italia with a similar content. But this today, we really wanted to talk about briefly in the year that has passed by since our last chat, what we have done, and mainly about our project as well. A lot of people have asked questions, and we promised that we were going to have an extensive chat about it. And that's why I needed my partner in crime, Andrea, because I can't do this by myself.
Yeah, we are talking a little bit more about sheep and wool, more than yak and cashmere tonight. So in the different aspects, but we will focus our chat more on the sheep.
Yeah.
We started, as a lot of you knows, with the baby yak. That is our first fiber. Our mYak adventure started almost 20 years ago.
Oh my God, let's not talk about it.
More?
Yeah, exactly. But that makes us sound so old already. We are still young.
Making cheese and working with yak. I was working with a Tibetan veterinarian, running my motorbike and by horse on the grassland to compare the Western medicine, the Tibetan medicine. It was a great experience. And Paola was at the cheese factory trying to make mozzarella night and day. So it was a very nice adventure. But at first we didn't thought too much about sheep because I had this charm of the yak, these marvelous animals of the Tibetan plateau, the Kashmir goat. The sheep was nice, but I didn't thought too much. Until one day, walking with Paola, making interviews between one tent and the other tent, a little bit afraid of the dogs, so making questions to the nomads, we started to look at this beautiful sheep, totally different from our sheep. This flock, in general, grazing at the highest mountains because they can climb where the yak, they are too heavy, cannot go. And we thought what we can do something with this wool. I thought, oh no, this is scratchy wool, is wool not just for carpet, maybe not easy to do something, but the time passed and finally we could do something very nice with this wool, isn't it, Paola?
And I was actually trying to remember, my memory, I always have this nostalgia of all of the years that we were in Tibet. And of course, you keep going back right now, and I haven't been back for a while. But I do remember, when we were working, we were, and a lot of people, a lot of you know, if you've been following us, that as Andrea said, we met making cheese in Tibet, making cheese from the female of the yak. And I think not in a million years. I mean, already being there in the middle of nowhere at 15,000 feet in a beautiful landscape with the cheesemakers and the monks and the nomads, the family and the yaks, already was a dream. Was a dream to be able to do something there. But we would have never imagined to be where we are today. And I think, we came a long way. And I think, and it's because, that's the title of this chat is The Dreamers. I think, both Andrea and I are always dreamt, have always been, dreamt big. And we never go to sleep without thinking, what's next? What can we do next? But I do remember, and that's a bit funny, I do remember the walks that we had on the grassland and the endless cup of tea talking with the nomads. And I remember seeing this animal. But the first time that I saw the sheep, they had this majestic horn. They had big horns. And I said, oh, aren't they goat? I mean, they have horns. So for me, sheep was the little sheep with the fluffy hair and the little ears, more like a lamb. And this one were like big, majestic horns. And I do, and I remember, oh, look at how many goats are there. Andrea, of course, the veterinarian was like, oh no, those are sheep. Immediately I realized my mistake, but for that second I had, goats have horns, sheep they don't. But I knew a lot about other things, luckily. So that's why the team works well with with Andrea.
Yeah, but the particularity of the Tibetan sheep, that is the only sheep in the world that is anciently was crossbred with the argali, that is a wild sheep with very big and majestic horns. And some gene of these wild sheep still are in the Tibetan sheep that they are raising. And I think that also for this, our Tibetan wool is totally different from all. Maybe it's not softer than merinos, but it's totally different. It's something new, something different, because it's a different blood, not only different environment. So it's really particular, the Tibetan sheep.
Right.
And the one thing that we saw the changement in all this year, because 20 years ago, all the women was weaving in the tent. All the tent was the black tent, classical black tent, done with yak hairs, the serpa they call the Tibetan, so it's the coarse hair of the yak, not the down, are used for this tent. But it was a big work to make this tent, and it's easier to buy plastic tents, maybe for the Chinese. And year by year, we saw less and less black tent and more white tent, and this was really a pity. So at the same time, they are using less wool because they found a synthetic fabric from China. And also they started to crossbreed the sheep, because since the wool was not interesting anymore, they started to crossbreed with meat sheep, because it was just interesting for the meat. So in this way, there is a risk to lose a biodiversity that is unique in the world. So we thought we can do something very little, but maybe to start a little changement, valorizing again the wool that is unique.
Yeah, we have a comment from Luciana, who is following us from Switzerland, says, better than merino, Tibetan cloud forever. So that's a big, Luciana is a big fan. Thank you, Luciana. I think it's important to explain that traditionally the Tibetan, and we've given it away, we've been there for over 20 years. originally when we went there, it was very common for most Tibetans, both in the city, so farmers and nomads, but also urban people, to wear the traditional clothes, which is made of nambu. Nambu is a wool material, a natural wool that normally is woven from small, very narrow looms and is woven in stripes. And then it can be dyed as well. And so, but they're like small stripes and they are attached to each other and they make the nambu, which is this particular very nice, almost like a felted wool in tradition, in dark colors, because a lot of them, they use the yak wool, but also, of course, sheep wool as well. And it was very common to have very natural, everybody was wearing it, because it's the most natural and best protection from the environment, from the rain, because it repels the rain, from the heat in summer and the cold in winter. Think about the altitude. So it's very common to see all of this. This big chuba. Normally, they wear it. It's like an overcoat. They wear it with one arm in and one arm out, so that they can do whatever. They can even ride the bike with that. And they have a big belt, like a cloth. This also normally is a natural of natural cotton or natural fibers. And and that was the main thing that they would wear. Now to find even that material is very difficult, and we saw it over the years. So the first few summers when we were on the grassland for the cheese project, we would see, and we were amazed to see how from the moving from the winter pasture to the summer pasture, the nomads would move with the yaks. They would have everything on the animals, and I think we posted photos about that over the years. And one of them was these little sticks and stuff was for the loom. So the loom was very basic, but it was very functional. So they could just put it together, and they would during the summer, when they had a little bit of a spare time, they would do that. They would use that loom. So they would use it for the tent, as Andrea was saying, and also to make clothing. And we saw, as Andrea was saying, over the years, just over the summers, slowly disappearing. Yeah?
Remember, Paola, the wool diapers. I was just thinking now, for the children, they used wool diapers for the first 6 months. So for the first 6 months, if you offer a child, they offer you a child, you can take it, no problem, because he has a particularly wool diaper. I never seen something similar. After 6 months, they have no diapers. So they offer the child, and I think, Paola, take the child, because it was pee very fast. But now also it's finished. This is finished. But I really remember all this wool used, not woven, nothing, just wool around the child. That was the only way to keep it dry in winter.
Yes.
Now they have normal diapers, and unfortunately they burn, they pollute. This is a big problem. We are working also to sensibilize a lot the nomads against the using of plastic to pack, because as the saying that for us a lot of waste is constituted by the pack, so they start to receive food and sweet, everything in the plastic after they burn the plastic, because they don't know, and they don't know that the risk to breathe dioxin. So a lot of young nomads are very sensible now to this problem, and they are working to sensibilize all the community not to use plastic, to use again. So like for us, they are coming back a little bit to the natural product, the natural fabric, and not only the plastic and the pollution. But this is a big problem that we are trying to work with in Tibet.
First, I want to say hi to Bruna Cortosi. She is the owner with her daughter of the Knitting Loft. They recently have just received a big shipment of Tibetan Cloud, of the sheep wool that we are talking about. And so they are our newest retailer in Canada. So I just want to say thank you for believing in us, Brune, for following us. We have a question as well, and we will take your question as they come and keep going and tell you more about the stories. Is there a possibility that the Tibetan cloud breed of sheep may disappear due to the mixing with other more profitable sheep? That's definitely a question for the veterinarian.
Yeah, it's not an easy question. So when we started to look for a good wool for us, we identify a big area where all the sheep are still pure Tibetan sheep, not the meat sheep. The meat sheep are the Xinjianese sheep. So you know Xinjiang is the western region, the Muslim region in the west of China. They have this meat sheep, quite similar, but they have a very bad wool. So we identify a very big area where they only breed the Tibetan sheep. But it's clear there is a risk because in other area I saw Australian merinos on the plateau. So the risk, if they produce wool with the Australian merinos and meat with the Xinjianese sheep, this ancient breed risks to disappear. So it's clear with our maybe we produce 2 tons, 3 tons per year of Tibetan cloud, so it's not a lot, but it's growing. Is a quite large number of sheep, but it cannot preserve the biodiversity. So it's very important to work in this direction because it's something that the Tibetan and the Chinese, they don't think about. The same things, they crossbreed the yak with the cows because they want to produce more milk. Traditionally, the Tibetan family have one crossbreed named the Nzomo. Nzomo is the crossbreed between a yak and he has more milk.
Between a yak and a cow.
It's normal to have a yak and a cow. Yeah, it's normal to have one in the family. But all the rest of the herd should be yak. Now in some area is changing, and this is very dangerous because there is a big risk. One reason is also that now they can bring forage for winter in some Tibetan area. So the yak can survive in the winter like a wild animal, just eating the dry grass that he can find alone. And maybe they just cultivate, some oatmeal for the sick animal, but in little quantity. Now that they can bring forage on the plateau, they think that they can breed the crossbreed between yak and sheep, yak and cow, yeah. And also the crossbreed between different breed of sheep. So it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. I'm trying to work I already talked a few days ago with a colleague that is veterinarian in the Shinin University of Veterinary Science to sensibilize them to this big problem because it can be a problem for the future.
Right. And so going back to us, people do ask, so what you're doing now and what is one thing, what is the other? Can you explain it? So that's what we are trying to do. So as you know, Andrea and I have been living and working on the Tibetan Plateau for over 20 years, and we see this change. We see this, the tradition disappearing, the simple tradition of weaving and spinning as well, slowly disappearing to give space to, in a way, a modern, modernity with more, no natural fabric. I mean, this is something that has happened throughout the world, not just on the Tibetan Plateau. Of course, if you just buy something and it's quick, you have the fast fashion. You want to change. You want a fabric that it doesn't take a week to dry when you put it outside, and all of that. So we understand all of that. Over the years, because of our other activities, not just mYak, even before mYak, we have explored the possibility of working with specifically group of women in different areas of Tibet. So we had a lot of experience trying to understand what can be done, what has been done, who has done what. And there were quite a few, efforts and attempt to bring back those traditions. Some a little bit more successful than others, but normally it would come from an NGO, from a non-for-profit organization. They would come in and try to do something in a way that would just fit more the audience that would just donate the money. And we always thought that for us, and we have done that with mYak as well. Putting the people at the center of the development aspect has always been one of the most important things for us. So we always worked with Tibetan, for Tibetans and with Tibetans, but it is nomad and now the farmers, rather than just go in, tell them what to do and leave. It's not that we will, we are not living. Of course, we cannot be there all the time, but we always strive to do something that could bring a livelihood support while maintaining certain tradition. We are not stuck in the past. That's important to say. It's not that we want to keep things as they were, but we just want to ensure that we can bring some elements of modernity, whether it's modern design or modern aspect, to help the Tibetan communities that we love for us. We dedicated basically our lives to this, and mYak was the first step. I think first the cheese. I think that was all the nonprofit activities that we did. That was the cheese. Then we dreamt about mYak and never thought about this happening. And from the first scarf and the first skein of yarn, and then for a while now, we have been thinking, what else can we do? Can we bring back that dream that we had? Yeah, Andrea?
Yeah, and one important thing that I'm sure Paola and me, we share, because it's really, we are dreamer, we just usually want new adventures, but what is very important in all cooperation activity is that our dream is also the dream of the Tibetan community. So we have to share our dream, and it becomes not our project, but their project. This is the basis of the sustainability of any cooperation activity. I usually make the little example that is little, but is very interesting. I worked a lot in Africa as well, and I had two friends that worked in an NGO, and they raise money from GoFundMe, from this kind of platform, to make a well in Mali, in an area where there was no water. So they decided, okay, for this village, the woman, they have to walk 20 kilometers to pick up the water. We dig a well. Okay, they went in the village, they dig a well, inauguration, everybody happy. After the sorcerer of the village go near the well, it did, no, in this well there is the devil. So you have to walk fast as you did before. This is not good. So why? Because they decided what was good for them without sharing the idea with them before. So
the location, just not, So in this case, the location of that well was not decided in cooperation with the village.
In a participative way.
In a participatory approach. So that's what you're trying to say,
So when we had first the idea of Docarpo, that it was a dream, I was with a Tibetan friend, and we shared it with him, with Paola, and okay, it becomes, we selected the village, is the same village where we collect our Tibetan cloud. So we started to talk with the community, and when we felt that they really was enthusiastic about to do this activity with us, okay, we accepted to support them. And our dream is that they become totally independent, totally. So we will be very happy just when Docarpo will be a local company making profit and giving work to the spinners, to the weaver, buying the wool from the herders. So in this way, for us, only at this moment, we will be happy and sure that our project totally succeeds.
So it's basically, it's not like, it's not a spin-off or anything like that. It just runs parallel, and it's nothing to do, it's mYak because it's me, because it's Andrea and I, and the team that support us. We have a team in Italy, Carlotta and Elena and Laura in Tibet, who are pivotal. They are so important for us to be able what we're doing. We wake up in the morning and we just decide what we want to do, but then the entire little machine, and we are very little. And then, we have to make sure that we have somebody local, somebody, a Tibetan that we work with, that we talk to every day to be able to do this. And So what we did, Andrea specifically, because I did not go there. We looked at a village. We looked at, what was the income, what were the women doing, and it was astonishing. But it was not happening just there. In a lot of other locations on the Tibetan plateau, the younger generation is living. And it happens in villages in Italy too, and I'm sure it happens in small places here in the U.S. They live because they want to have a better life. They want to have a more interesting life. They don't have a job opportunity. Remember, especially this is a farming area, which is different from the nomadic area that we get the yak wool from. There's not much that you can do there. I mean, there's not much activity. There's anyway, if you want to go to school, you have to go away. Government jobs are the secure job to get in general, and you're assigned to do it. And but else, so what's left behind is older women. And when we're talking about older, we're talking about women of our age. I don't, Andrea and I are the same age, and I don't feel old at all. And but they, when we talk to some of them, they said, yes, we would like to do something, even if it is not that they think, let's revive the ancient tradition. It's not what they're thinking. They are thinking, how can I make a livelihood by staying in my house, in my home, raising my children, and ensure that I can make a living. So that's what they want. Yeah, Andrea?
Yeah, exactly. And so the first work was the selection of the area. I think that is important to communicate to everybody that maybe is very important. In Tibet, we have two different worlds. The nomadic world, so is the nomads lives on the higher part of the plateau, on the grassland, so very green in summer, very hard winter. They move between a winter pasture, a spring pasture, and a summer pasture. Anciently, they was free in the grassland. Now, Chinese, they fenced all Tibet, so they are not really nomad, but semi-nomad. But still, they have the nomadic mentality. They don't cultivate absolutely nothing. They just live with what their animal produce. So the farmer is totally another world. So is like this since very ancient period, since ever, I think. So there are some little villages. The farmers in a lot of cases are poorer than nomads. Yeah. It depends, but in a lot of cases are poorer. They have not a good land because the lower part are very dry. So they don't have the grassland. They have a little amount of water. They cultivate some barley, some oatmeal, some colza, and they have maybe a few animals. But they have a beautiful house made of heart, no? So with a very nice courtyard, and it is a totally different mentality. Easier to work with in some way in the villages with the nomad. Nomad are very warrior, so they're not easy person. I really love them, but it's not so easy to build something really sustainable with them, because one day they are in the one location, the day after they disappear, the men run around. So it's totally different mentality. And this farmer area, we identify this area because it was poor, is far from the big cities. There is nothing, there is no one shop in this village, earthy, there is absolutely nothing. Old person, women, a lot of men go all the week to work or maybe in once a month, or they come back to bring the money. So the women and the children, they stay alone, and there is absolutely no activity. Yeah. And it was in this village that we did the picture of the woman with the big ball of wool, taking maybe 4 days to spin 1 kilo of wool, and the value of this kilo of wool was really, really low. There was it was really the place to do something. So yeah. Fortunately, Tashi Punsok, a good friend, was from this village. is a Tibetan tourist guide, an excellent person. So if you want to visit the lost part of Tibet, maybe to see the snow leopards and the wild yak, is the right person. And with him, we started to talk with people, to make interviews, and to see. And he offered us a workshop, a house of belonging his parents that was not using. Now we are starting to work to set up the workshop in this house.
Right.
Let's two group of women.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Let's step a step back. I think otherwise, and there are some questions as well. So I just want to make sure that we take it step by step, so we can understand. You know, we are so into it that for us it's like, okay, this is what we are going to do. So first, there is a comment about the fact that we managed to set up something like that with the Tibetan. It means also that Tibetan have a trust in us. And I think this is the trust that we have built with the community with different, over the years. This is something, the fact that we can keep going back. We always bring back what we make. I mean, I do remember, the first time, Andrea, that you brought back the first scarf that we created with their fiber, with the baby yak. That was the first year. They were amazed and happy and proud the fact that fiber created something so beautiful that came from them. So, the trust goes both ways. I mean, sometimes it's not easy to work with some of the communities, and, there are ups and downs, there are delays, misunderstanding, and all of that. But I think they have our trust, and we trust them as well. And that's why everything works quite well together. So that was one of these comments. I don't know if you want to add. If not, I have a question.
Yeah, I agree, totally agree with you. It's not easy. They are mountain people. So to have the trust of mountain people like Paola and I.
But we are mountain people too.
Yeah. Paola from the Dolomites, me from the Piedmont Mountains. So Paola is more close to the Austria border. I'm more close to the French border, but both we come from mountain. And maybe it's not a coincidence. It's not a case.
I think the fact that we ended up. I think I always think about it. How the heck did we ended up there? But the fact that who we are as people as well as individuals, I think that has to do a lot with it. We care about family. Family and friends come first before everything else. And the value that we have instilled in ourselves and in our children now are so very similar to the family value that the Tibetan have. And there was a question about the role of women, or whether through this project we can elevate the status of women in the area as well. I should remember that women are revered in Tibet. Of course, they do most of especially in both nomads and farmers, they do most of the work. They have the habits, the hardest. They are like they are so strong that I've always been in awe of them. I thought I had energy and I thought I'm active. I mean, I was just like dead if I were to do all the things that these Tibetan, especially the nomads, had to do. But, and I traveled, over 20 years, and in the 8 years that I lived there, I was one of the few women that were in a man's world, traveling all around in up and down and this and that. But, women do have, women are respected. There is not that, is there domestic violence and act like that? I mean, yes, of course, but not as much as in other cultures. I just want to make that clear. But definitely by having this project, having DoKarpo established what we want to do, and then we go back to what Andrea was saying. The first step was the selection of this group of women, and we will establish them, and we will help them in setting up a female cooperative. But there will be men working there too. Yeah. Yeah,
but now we are working to select a coordinator of the group, and I would like it's a woman, because we don't want that it's a man that is going to coordinate a group of women, because it's not what we want. So because I agree with you, compared to other culture, the women in Tibet are quite independent, they can make their choice, but their role is so heavy, so they have not time to think to nothing else. They cook, they dry the yak dams on the grassland to make the fire, they make the yogurt, they milk the yak, and the man, when the milk is ready, take the milk and bring to the factory, or bring the butter to the market to sell the butter, to go with friends, to make the war. But now there is no more war, so the man has not too many things to do.
They play in pool a lot. They are just playing, they stay behind.
It's a tough society in some way, you know. We love this society, but the family is very strong. Most of the marriage are decided by family. We have to tell it. Now, and it's something that is very difficult to change. So but we have to respect the context where we work, and we cannot change also bad things that are traditional since long time. So if this group of women can become independent and have economically independent, coordinated by a woman, this is very important. But is a change that is going to be very, very slow, because if you go too fast to change something, is sure that the project cannot not succeed.
So and I think let's talk about that famous ball of yarn, a ball of wool that you saw. So so that you have an idea. We were already working on mYak. So Andrea was talking to Punto about possibly trying to do something. What can we do? What we cannot do? And we started thinking, maybe we can have some hand-spun, and what about the spinning? And then we thought maybe the weaving would be better, isn't it? Because that is disappearing so fast. And Andrea met the lady, and I think, we posted almost everywhere, because to me, this is the symbol of Docarpo. She's not that old. I mean, she's old, but she's not that old, but her face tells you all. And as Andrea was saying, this is the ball of yarn of sheep wool that it took her 4 days to spin.
4 days, 1 kilo, a good spinner.
Oh, this is much more than a kilo. This is this is a weapon.
Because it's also a little bit dirty, so the weight is high.
So you can just you can do things with this. So, I mean, today when this image was like, that's it. That's what we are going to do. But, so Andrea took part of this, it was a separate one. And I think it was like a few years now, like 3 years, I think, probably.
2.5, maybe,
almost 3 years ago. It came to New York. And I kept it because I thought, if we ever do anything, it's like, when you have the first penny of your business, or the first lira at the time, and you put it on a frame. So Andrea came with this. And it gave it to me. This was before Tibetan Cloud, because I kept telling him, can we do something with the wool? Can we do something with all of these sheep? And I think we tell the stories in other chat. And he said, here it is. What do you think? And I'm like, right. This is hand-spun. And in these two pieces. One is a little bit thicker than the other. This is almost like a finger in weight, as we would call it. Not that I would make anything with it. And I said, this is what they just spun. Do you want to knit with this? And I'm like, well, it's a bit scratchy for my own flavor. Then he had another bag, and it's still in the plastic bag, and it has all of the...
Sorry, at this moment you were working with Kirsten Kapoor in the showroom. And she appreciated more than you at first.
She immediately, Kirsten Kapoor, like one of the dearest friends here in New York, I think she saw the value of this before we did. She took it and smelled it, and she said, oh my God, feel the lanolin in the same way I didn't want to put my hands in the yak with the parasite. At the beginning, I didn't want to like put my hands like I'm doing now. And it has that, it doesn't have, you know, of course it's been a while back, but you know, it's been there for 3 years in the same bag, in the same place in my office. And it had that, it doesn't smell. I mean, you know, it has that, I don't know how to say it, but it's, you know, it feels like home to me right now. But the other bag, which was what made Kirsten jump in joy, is this bag. So this bag is the wool as it came. So this is, you want to talk about this one, Andrea? It's called the Suchida.
Yeah, this is just simply washed a little bit by the nomad, but the concept of washing is totally different from our idea of something clean, of something dirty. And the wool should be a little bit fat, because if not, they cannot spin by hand. So this is just washed in the water and dried and with any other treatment. It's fat, I know, you feel the fat.
You can feel it. You can really feel it. I mean, it's amazing. I wish you know, you can make you feel. It's quite. And the fact that you have incorporated your country with Tibet shows your love for both countries. Bravo. That's one question. I actually have some comments coming in as well. Let me try to go through. Thank you for sharing your beautiful cooperative dream. Thank you for watching us. So this is, again, this has been in my office, in a special place in my office, and I said, all right, we will do something. You know, is and this is actually. So after this was
when you first saw this wool, you didn't have the same expression than now, because it was.
I was like, oh, ooh, oh, what is this? Can we do something? I was thinking about something nice and soft, and then was actually through this process that I'm just like cleaning up here. Through this process that we came to obtain this one, which is the base of the cloud, yeah?
Yeah. The big difference is that the base of the cloud is the hair. So when we saw the raw fiber, the raw wool that you have, we saw that in the middle of this wool there was like a down, like a soft down. For this reason, with our dehairing partner in Tibet, we started to make the same treatment that we do on yak and on the cashmere on the wool. So on 100 kilo of dirty wool, we can have 20 kilo of Tibet cloud. So, and the rest stay on site to make the mattress, to make insulation, to make other things. So, but the wool that we will use for Docarpo, we would like that it will be only treated by hand without any mills in the process. So we are working to select maybe the young sheep wool to have a soft wool without this technical treatment. So they should be able, from the sheep to the yarn to the fabric, to do it all alone in the village, and maybe in the future also to dye in the village.
So my young students love to touch dirty wool. Lanolina inside wool is wonderful for your hands, for sure. That is, you can feel it. I mean, if you think about the hand cream, a lot of the hand cream is made with the lanolin. And Paola, you're so cute. I just love you. Oh, I like that. I like those comments. I think I need to read them out loud to make sure. Somebody will say something nice about you, Andrea. Don't worry. And sorry, like I'm just trying to clean up there. So basically, from this weapon, from this ball of yarn that you can see it again, we came up with the idea, and we wanted to be a separate project, not because we didn't believe in it or anything, but because we wanted to be, as we said, an independent enterprise. We want to be able to step back as soon as possible. It's probably going to be 2 years, but sometimes things take a little bit longer. I think the Tibetan side and the Italian side, I'm the one that has more like a German mentality. So, but the Italian side and the Tibetan side together normally takes a little bit longer to do things than expected. But, we will get there eventually. So the idea is, yeah, go ahead, Andrea.
But now we are ready to start very
Exactly.
fast in a German way.
We're there. So we talked about it. We organized it. We kept it quiet. I think there were like 3 people that knew about it. Also because we are very, very proud. We are very, mountain people are very proud. We did not want to say something unless we were sure that we could actually do it. But when we looked at the budget, and this is the hardest part for us, when we looked at the budget and the money that we needed to do it, we looked at each other and we said, no way that we can do it on our own. I mean, there's no way that even mYak can invest in this. This cannot be a subsidiary of mYak. We don't want it to be, but we could not do it financially.
It should be something different. mYak is our business, is a sustainable business. We buy the fiber at a sustainable price and a fair price, but with Docarpo is something different, and the beneficiary, we have the social impact is higher. This is sure, because with mYak we buy fiber from hundreds and hundreds. The cooperative is almost 1,200 families, so it's a lot, but the benefit for each family is good, but it doesn't change his life. So this was our reflection. Okay, we help the family, but we don't have a very strong action on each family. So we do something good, clean, fair, but with Docarpo is on a little number, not so little, because if we put together the direct beneficiaries, the indirect beneficiaries, is quite a large number. Yeah. We want to really change the life of some person.
Yeah, this is at least this village, at least we want to start. You have to start somewhere. I mean, again, we are not a huge corporation or anything that we can do massive amount of work, but just by sometimes just by starting and affecting 10 families, you already have affected a village, because they will take that. So when we said, we looked at each other and we said, we have to face it. Either we put this dream in the drawer or we ask for help. And asking for help for us is like almost saying you're failing because you cannot do it. You cannot do it yourself. And we said mYak is very small. We put everything we have in mYak. We don't have, we don't have, is us. Basically, is us. And we put all our love, commitment, all the money that we had. Everything else, everything. Anyway, so we said, why don't we try to do a GoFundMe, a crowdfunding campaign, and try to explain as best as we could to people, also to create a support group around these women that you don't know them. You will not know them until we can just go there and take a video or anything else. And so we did that. And but before we talk about the funding part, I want to explain, and I think because we have some question coming in, if, for example, will we sell the hand-spun yarn coming out of this? So we start with the trading. One step back, the first person that we talked to about this project, if not ourselves, has been the knitwear designer Marie Wallin. Marie Wallin is a wonderful Fair Isle UK designer, and I think we were together that year in Edinburgh at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and I'm a huge fan of her work. I've been following her, tried to talk to her, so I went to say hi, been my shy hi. And I don't know how we start talking about Tibet and Tibetan culture and how she loved it and how she, she said if there's anything I could do to help. And I told her about this idea. I said, this is just something like a little seed in our head. We've been trying to do something. And it was just a few days later, after we returned home, that she emailed us saying, if you want to do something about this project, I'm going to design a beautiful piece for you. And I'm going to donate the design. I'm going to donate a pattern, kit together with your yarn, sell, and I would like that funding, the money, the sales, to go to this project. And so we did. She launched the Lhasa pattern. We launched it together. Is a beautiful, amazing design. She just posted again a few days ago because we had run out of yarn, and I think we ran out of yarn again. I think it's coming back anyway. So and she was so positive and strong about it that we thought, okay, maybe we can do it. And we actually, we managed with the funds that we raised, we managed already to buy 2 looms. Yeah. Right. Yeah, but then we had to stop because of the pandemic, because of everything else.
Yeah, but we have the 2 looms. We have the workshop. The Tibetans started to set up the workshop, to clean, to put some heating, a stove inside. And now we are organizing. So we have Laura, our representative in China, Tibet, that will be on site in 10 days. So very fast for the startup of the project. So I really think that very soon we can communicate the results of the first training. So we have 2 groups of women now. One is the spinner, 5 spinner and 5 weaver. So we started to produce, we don't know exactly what, because we are making a little market study on the local market. So because we want that they sell their product on the local market, and also mYak can help them to sell on the international market.
Right.
Concerning the yarn, we will do a lot of trial, because we need, if we produce hand-spun and hand-dye in Tibet yarn, that is another dream, it will require time and trials, but this is something that we would like to do. So the hand-spun in Tibet is really a dream, and dye even more, but all the dyeing tradition locally are lost. So we are working to see what we can recover in the monastery, people that still dye with plants, with minerals, but this is an objective.
Right.
So there are like 2 lines, one for the spinners and one for the weavers.
And so going back to the question that we had, will we sell it? It's going to take trials. They have to learn. So first is the training. We want to make sure that the training happens. Training, people like her, that is one of the few person in that village that remembers or knows how to spin. We have to first gain that knowledge and pass it on. So the knowledge, the acquisition of knowledge is the first most important, the recording of the knowledge, both weaving and spinning. And for the weaving also, it's very important to understand, and I think we posted that as well, that the traditional looms that they use are the floor loom that, ensure that that woman just goes, basically does a 90 degrees, with the back to weave. So we want to make sure that we build locally on the model of other looms that come from central Tibet, where there is more this knowledge. So we will have to build more looms as well. So standing looms, trying to do slowly, trying to do again those pieces of fabric. And we will see what we want to do with that. You cannot just sell a square of fabric. So that's when the Italian side will come in, trying to think about designs and what do we want to do. Maybe it's going to be placemats, it's going to be small blankets or carpets. So we will do that. For the hand-spun, it will take a little bit longer to figure it out. And also, the hand-spun in Tibet will be their label. So of course, taking things out of Tibet and China is very complicated. Because our idea is not that we want to fund the project so that we can sell the hand-spun in Tibet, we will facilitate the distribution. So we will act, because we have a company in Beijing as well. You need an export license. I won't bore you with all of the admin side, which is our morning chat, the admin side of things. So we will facilitate. Of course, the local market has to be the main market, but then we will export some. And we do hope, because we are big dreamers, that stores around the world will be able to order small quantities and sell it. So it's not that something that we take it and we sell it. We would hope that we could just open up this market so that stores or cooperative or other groups can order, maybe through us, because we have the, or whatever, however the distribution will work. And so that you can find in your local store, eventually you can find those kinds of hand-spun in Tibet, or maybe a textile as well. So that is the end game. So not now and not next month, maybe in a year, we will be able to do that. The labeling, where do we do the labeling? Once we are comfortable. There are some hand-spun in Nepal. There are some hand-spun of the yak fiber somewhere else as well. But it will take a while to make it comfortable.
It's interesting of hand-spun in Tibet. Sorry, Paola,
No.
Is that in Nepal there are no yaks, so the fiber is collected in maybe Mongolia or in Tibet, and so the idea to have something that happen all in this area, from the breeding to the yarn, is something very, very new and interesting. And also one more thing, so I just want to add that the fact that we have a little company in Beijing is a guarantee of traceability. Yeah. Because why we did this, it was complicated to set up a company in Beijing, but in this is a little company, we can buy directly from the family using our company. It's the only way to go there without any intermediary. So our company has an export license. We can buy the wool. We can be sure that the money go to each family. We can export the down to Italy. So this is, and we can guarantee and control all the chain from the animal to the final product.
Yeah. So we have people asking whether they will be able, or whether we, or as a distributor, or anybody else, will be able also to sell fiber for spinner. And the answer is yes.
Yes, true. Yeah.
So we will.
Very easy. So it's something that we can. We talk a lot about that, and we didn't do, but it's something that we can set up. Very, very easily to have. I think that we can do with Tibetan cloud fiber, or with a more rough local fiber, but something that can be done is in our. And
this goes back to Kirsten Kapoor again. Just sorry to I'm not sorry to mention her. Actually, it's because she asked Andrea whether she could take some of this bag, and she went home and she hand spun it. And she brought a swatch, I think we have it somewhere, a little swatch, she washed it, and it was actually really soft. And that was the beginning. That was me saying, yes, we can do it. Andrea, go back, figure out how to make this. So it is an adventure. But I just have a few things. I have the Lhasa, thanks to Amy, who is here to help me. I got the beautiful Lhasa sweater by Mary Wallin. This is done with the baby yak silk in, I think it's like 10 different colors. So it's amazing. You can see it on our website better. I think if you order now, I think it will ship at the end of March, because again, we run out. We don't have huge quantities, so we run out of one of the colors. We ran out of Prana before, now we run out of the purple, the gelso. But, so this is in case you want a direct support to the project, you can just buy the kit for this, and that will go straight to the project. So that's one way. Now, before we go to the GoFundMe campaign, I think we have to acknowledge what is happening today, because I have all of these messages coming. The Instagram is on fire. because of the auction that we just launched this morning. And I think is, when we dream, we always go to a few people to sort of on each side of our world. More on the production side, Andrea talks to some people in Italy and some mills and what can we do, how can we do it with Carlotta and Elena and our team. But then we talked to a few people here that we trust. So Kirsten was one of them. And before we launched the GoFundMe campaign, I was talking to both Julie Hoover and Michelle Wang, told them about this dream of ours, say, we would love to do it, we don't know how to do it, shall we do a crowdfunding, sorry. And then they said, we want to help. Both of them have been dear friends. They have, they are the first two designers before anybody else, and then later came Olga Buraya-Kefelian, Sarah Solomon, Kirsten Kapoor, and a lot of many others that follow. And we are very lucky to have a lot of wonderful designers designing with the mYak yarn. But Julie and Michelle Wang, Julie Hoover and Michelle Wang were the first two. So I always, we are friends. I always go back to them like a soundboard. And so surprisingly, I was really, wow, I think both of us, when I told Andrea, we were so happy. And they said, what if you want to run an auction? We can donate some pieces and you can have it on an auction. And see, maybe they will bring in some money. So I said, sure, not knowing. My face today should tell you how hard it is to organize an auction, especially when you are a team. This is Elena and I have done, most of the work, nothing to take away to Andrea and Carlotta, but, Elena with all of the graphic and me with all of the organization, and to organize the auction for these wonderful garments. But when I got the boxes of garments, I opened them up and I called Andrea and I said, this is like tons of them. It's like all their production over the years. There's so many of them. I can't believe they are willing to give them away. And they both said, it's for a good cause. We want these samples to go to good homes and to be loved and enjoyed by other people. And so we had, I think we have over 90 samples. So we thought about what to do. So we decided to put everything on auction. So if you watch this in a week, this particular auction will be over, but fear not, because a second one will come probably next month. And so we put, I think, around 50 pieces on the auction today. It just went live this morning, March 10th, and it will run until March 14 on the dedicated account that is mYak Beyond Borders. And also just to show you, we really wanted to separate the two accounts, and so please do follow us there for updates on the project. And the auction is open internationally. I have done a live this morning on our IGTV, on Instagram. Sorry, just with all the racks of all of the clothes that are in the auction. So please do and watch that. And any information, we will put it also down below in the chat and in the description box down below at the end of the chat. But that was one way where you can contribute is by bidding on an item. If you love Julie's and Michelle's design, this is really a wonderful opportunity, not just for you, but for your non-knitters friends that can't have a beautiful garment knit by one of them. And Julie is watching us. Julie says, it's been so wonderful to see your dream coming together. Much love to both of you for all of your hard work and incredible transparency. Also, Andrea, I could listen to your stories all day. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Julie. And Julie, like, last night I was uploading stuff, and she was very late up with me, helping and doing things. Having friends like that, having this community supporting us, and this is what we wanted to create for the women that we want to work for, to create that type of support that we have done. Right? I did speak too much, Andrea. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, for us, the concept of community is very important. It should be. We have the community of Tibetans, the community of herders, now the community of Herti of this village. We have the community of the knitters, the community of designers. So it's very interesting to have this group of people that have something in common. Also, this is something that I really love.
So the auction is definitely one way in which you can support us and to watch out for new other auction. And I know quite a few people have asked what I'm wearing, so I'm going to get to that in a minute. But let's focus on this. And then, so we knew that, we had no idea how much money we could raise for the auction. So the project is a 2 years investment on our part. We invest our time, our energy, our know-how, and all of the admin costs that go to run the project. And do you want to say something? We have a lot of experience. I mean, we come from the non-profit world, from project management. So this is what we are before we are, fiber lovers.
Yeah, we really wish that for us it's important that all the donations go on the project. So we put as a donation to the project all our administrative costs, all the organization, because it's important that people that donate are sure that all the money go really to this village, to this project, to valorize the experience of these women to this community. So this is very important for us. So this is a contribution of mYak team of Paola and me, but Carlotta, Elena, that give a lot of
Laura,
extra time to Docarpo, because it's an extra work, extra job.
Yeah.
But and everybody did with passion and with the better heart.
And so we decided, and again, it was not easy trying to figure out what to do as a crowdfunder, because we had never done it. Well, we had never done an auction, and here we are running an auction, but, we never produced yarn before, so now we are. We never produced cheese before, and now we are. So, it is always something that we always try to do something new. But so we went and we launched the GoFundMe campaign. We have a certain level of asking. It's over 2 years. We try to put down the budget. And, people think wrongly that just because it's in China or it's in Tibet, things have to cost less. But we are trying to, buy all of the equipment. We have to build the equipment. It's not that you just go on Amazon and you buy a new spinning wheel. And, so we have to build them, and we want to build them locally. And it's not, it's all of that cost involved. We want to have a project manager that speaks 3 languages. I mean, the person that speaks the local dialect and, Tibetan in general, Chinese, of course, to deal with all of the admin and the paperwork, and English as well, so that even Andrea or, somebody else can speak directly with them. So, just to find that, it means there's somebody that probably has studied and, so already that we have to do some renovation. We have been given the location by our local partner, by Punso, but it needs some renovation. It doesn't have any heating. We have to pay for electricity and all of that. I mean, think about over 2 years. We were afraid that if we were just asking for little money just to buy 3 looms, and then what? You just give it the money and what happened? So that's why that's why the campaign is there, and everything will everything will go towards that goal. It's not that, whatever money we raise for the auction will go towards the same pot, the same. Do you want to talk about that a little bit more about how the money is needed?
Yeah, I think the important aspect is that our concept of project is a modular project, because even with a more little amount, we can do something. So we have a minimum, and we already reached the minimum. No, our minimum was at least $20,000, we can start, we can do something. So the project is started. After we can add activity, add beneficiary, and since we didn't know how much money we could raise, we thought of the project in different activities. So we have the money to start, and this make us really, really happy. We say thank you with all our heart to everybody that donated, because now we can start, and in 10 days the person will be there, the training will start. Also, what Paola told about the looms and the spinning wheel or spindles, we are working on both sides. We don't want just to buy, but there is a local artisan that has to learn how to build, because this is very important for the sustainability of the project. Also, the community of the herders, so they have to keep this type of sheep, this breed. So we are slowly, after we start to speak maybe with the university, with the government. So it's a pilot. The concept is the product is a pilot that maybe has 20 families of direct beneficiaries, maybe the double of indirect, or because there are the herders, the village. But if it's a pilot, it demonstrates that it is sustainable, it can be replicated in other areas. So in this way, the impact can be very, very high.
Yeah, and I think, is for us, I think one of the moments where, and we go back to what we did with mYak, the moment where these women will be able to see that something that they produce is appreciated by people far away. It could be just in mainland China, or it could be in, in Switzerland, it could be in New York or in Italy. It doesn't matter where, but just have that, and knowing that, the way that they are proud, and we can be proud with them, and we help them, we support them, we're all part of this, I think is very important. And we hope we have the strength to go for the next 2 years and do everything. But the fact that by just what we got to today, we can start, is not that we wait to have all the money to start. As Andrea said, in the 10 days, the first training will start because we got the first money. When we saw the money coming in, we said, let's go for it. So that is very important. And I think a lot of people say, I don't have money, I cannot donate, I wish I could. Sometimes it's not, you don't need to actually donate money, but you can help us in so many other ways. You can share, you can talk about to your friends, you can post it, you can do, spreading the word, whether it's the link of the GoFundMe campaign or the link of the auction, or maybe you just know somebody that is interested in any other way. And I think that alone help us, because in this big world, we are nobody. I mean, we are like very, very little. We are important to ourselves, but we are very little, and nobody knows us in a way. And that's how you can contribute. And then again, don't be afraid. I mean, we had donation for $10, $20, $25. If each one person watching this this video in the next month would just donate $20, we're done. We're okay. We don't need the big, of course we would love the big donation, and we had some incredibly generous donation that I'm like, wow, it's like it touched our heart, as Andrea was saying. But we don't need that. So, but again, today this chat was really to try to explain more about the project, more than, the asking, even if, of course, you have to do the asking as well. So when I say, sometimes I stop to see if Andrea wants to say something, and then you always told me, if you see that I don't say something, keep going.
Almost everything.
So going back to, this just arrived today. We have some packages lost in transit, and it's giving me such a headache because we have so many packages coming in and they're not coming in every day. We are trying to figure out to which state our yarn went. But let's talk about this beautiful store. We have two, this and the other one, which, I have it down here. So remember, mYak started not as a yarn brand, but as ready to wear. And we had some beautiful collection that we slowly, finished, and we sold it. We still have few pieces that are under the ready to wear section of the website, and we just really put those on sales a lot because we don't have many. So we want them to go to good homes as well. So that one, and but not too long ago, actually, we had some beautiful cones of cashmere. Do you want to tell the story, Andrea?
Yeah, so we started, as Paola told, with the ready-to-wear, and we still we built a network of little mills in Italy. In Italy, little villages, you have maybe a little mill that you don't know that can exist in this place. And maybe when I went there, they were producing stole for Dior or for Hermes, for example. So they have a very, very
high-end,
very high level, high know-how. And so sometimes we like to produce something. So these stoles are made of our cashmere, Tibetan cashmere, 14.5 microns, so one of the finest fiber in the world, spun in Italy, woven in Italy. So we had this yarn, like a little treasure, and we decided, okay, let's do something. And we have a very, very limited collection of this stole made in Biella.
In Vienna. So these are they're actually limited edition. When these are gone, they're gone because it came from the cones of cashmere that we had. We don't even have those colors. So a lot of people ask us whether we have this color in skins. We don't. I mean, we have in the cashmere, we just don't have it. We might do them, but besides the natural, of course. So we created two styles. I think we have like 10 or 12 pieces left. Is literally, before you think that we sold so many, we just didn't have many to start with. And so this is called millefoglie. Millefoglie is a wonderful Italian dessert. It's like layers of cream and yellow or white cream that I really love, like zabayone. Again, I think my sweet tooth. So this is millefoglie, and Elena and I came up with with different names, and then we actually had some names. Then we discussed it with Andrea and Carlotta, and then I think it was, can't remember. I think Andrea was you with the millefoglie, yeah. Idea. And yeah, so this has it's like random stripes. Basically, I could have called it random stripes, so it's not as fun. And is really huge. Is very light, super nice, and super warm. So this is mine. Or maybe we have 10 now left because I just took. That's the beauty of it. I just took it. So that is one, and you can use it. You can wrap it. I feel like if I were Melanie Berg, I would just show how to wrap things around and how to wear it. But it's very, very long, so it's perfect also for flight when we go back to travel, because it will keep us warm. So this is for now. With the spring is coming, we thought
it's quite solid because it's a 2-ply. The yarn is a 250,000. So compared to our old stole, it was 1-ply. This is a 2-ply, and since our cashmere is quite long, is strong. So it's usually something very light. So it's not really, really strong. But compared to the normal stole, is strong and almost never peel. So it's light.
Yeah, that's also the non-peeling. And I'm just laughing because I remember the first conversation about plies and these numbers. And I was saying 140,000, 114,000, 2,000. I remember the first time I glazed over this number, and I had no idea what they meant. And that was not too long ago. So how far have we come in actually even knowing more about the fiber that we work with? And, I know exactly now the microns, and I know, if our lace weight is 114,000 or 270,000. What does it mean? How does it feel? Not that Andrea knew, but knew more than me. I mean, knew about the animals clearly better than me, but I knew about the style. You know, that's that's what I know about. So this is a millefoglio, and you can find it on the website. I think we will put the link down below in the description box. And this one instead is sorbetto. Sorbetto is my name. I know that because that one got approved by the team. Sometimes they are very tough on me when I come out with ideas. So this also has some random stripes. So the only difference is that this one has thicker blocks and does not have the natural rama. So it has more colors in it. It has the saffron, ochre, and a jade. And I really, really love this color. I think I already asked Carlotta to see whether we can bring this for spring as one of the Raku Cashmere to have it in the. Andrea is like, oh, no more colors. But so this is sorbetto and this is millefoglio. Last Monday I received my sorbetto scarf. Wonderful, that's Luciana. And you know, the European always get things before me. It's like, why? But so I'll keep one too, so that you know, I keep one each. It's funny, Andrea, you cannot keep it, yeah? Because but so these are this limited edition. It's nothing to do with Docarpo, but you know, I was wearing it to show it off because it's something so new. So that's, you know, one way to not to support Docarpo, just if you want to support mYak. Once in a while, mYak also needs support. So I think, let me see. I think we said and explained everything we want to explain. I know it's late. As a reminder, you know, Andrea is in Italy while I am in New York, so it's still, you can see the night and day things out. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to be the guest on the Make a Spotlight on the Grocery Girls. I'm really excited and nervous about it. And so I'm just going to be on their podcast, you know, with they have a lot of viewers as well. But another way so I'm very excited about that. But another way that you can help us is also to subscribe to this channel, share this video with your friends and ask them to subscribe because it supports us and show us some love. I think we always need that. I know we are much loved. We know that. It just show us more. And I think
you about everything new happen on Docarpo side. So on the channel, on Instagram, on our social, I think that is important that people that donate can see the evolution. So you will receive the first picture of the training, the first fabric, the first trial of spinning. And week by week, you will see all the evolution and we will see where we can arrive.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this year with the pandemics, it's very complicated to go to Tibet. Everything goes low, but we will update you very often about what happens. So you can feel that you participate. This community has to participate to all the evolution of the Docarpo project.
And, you know, even if with the pandemic and everything, it's more complicated to get footage out and pictures and videos is one of the biggest challenges that we have if you're not there. It's one of the sore points sometimes. But we do what we can. Every step of the way, we are as transparent as we can possibly be because we know that if we were to donate, and we did, our own money to this, I would want to know. And we are open to any question as well. You know, we've always been, whether it's mYak, Docarpo, or anything else, you can always reach us by email. So do follow us on the mYak Beyond Borders, which is the Docarpo site, and mYak underscore us, or US, as they say here in the US. And keep watching and keep telling your friends about it. Andrea, thank you for being with us tonight.
And thank you, Amy, everybody. And
thank you, Amy, for helping us.
Very soon.
Yeah. And so good night, everybody. And we will see you soon, probably next week on this channel, either by myself or with another guest. Thank you and good night. Ciao. Ciao, Andrea.
Ciao, Paola. A presto.